together, and the people that are tracking things, there's no context to it. So you don't know if there's responsibility to switch. You don't know if there's responsibility to show. You don't know if there's responsibility to stay down where you're not leaving your beat. You don't know any of that. And so, I don't buy into that.
That's been something that's been sort of a black box for a long time, right? Like you
Yes.
said, trying to figure out how to quantify that. Do you think the team-wide numbers, whether it's defensive rating or different team-wide stuff, is decent at this point? And it's more the individual.
I think my experience is, when I look back at my career, I've been around some really good defensive teams, and I look at the rating system and I look at individual players that are ranked sometimes, in some cases, very high, and I know they're not that good. And then in other cases where guys are ranked low and they are that good. And then the same thing with teams. And so, I told you, the thing is that you don't know, okay, if you blitz in a pick and roll and there's a roll to the basket, who's responsible for picking up the roll guy? And then a lot of these rating systems are matching up, what they perceive to be starters against starters and backups against backups. Well, that's not how it works. So, and how do they know what your rules are? Like, how do you define a contested shot? They don't know that. They don't know what your game plan is in each game. So I don't buy into that.
So what do you think it is defensively? Watching the
Well, as I told you, the thing for us is defense in this league is team wide. It's not, it's not one guy. Like, if one guy doesn't do his job, it could make everyone look bad. So, there's some things that we've done extremely well, other things that we have work to do on. So, I don't like putting it on one particular guy.
Tom, what stands out to you about the way that James Harden and Joel Embiid attack defenses and pick and roll together?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. No, when you take two guys like that, and the way they're playing right now is unbelievable. And I think anytime you put two elite players in a pick and roll, that's going to command a lot of attention, and then that opens up the floor for other guys. And so I think their willingness to sacrifice and play off each other has made them, they're playing great basketball on both sides of the ball right now. Their offense is phenomenal, their defense is terrific. When you look at Joel, he gives them, a post presence. He's a big that can play away from the basket. He can put it on the floor. He's terrific in a pick and roll. James is terrific in a pick and roll. He's, and then you look at guys like Maxey and Harris and Melton, and it's a lot of weapons. But I think that their willingness to play off each other, their ability to break it down off the dribble, that creates easy offense. And then of course they're very efficient from the three. So they've surrounded them with good shooting. Niang comes in, spreads you out, and plays off. They've got guys that are playing off their stars really well.
Coach, I'm sure you were up late last night or early this morning watching film of yesterday's game. Talk about the fourth quarter, one of the best quarters the team has played all season, and that furious comeback to potentially win the game.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you go back, the past 4 games, the fourth quarters, we've been very, very strong. And unfortunately, we fell short in the end. But offensively, I love where we are. We're scoring a lot. We're starting to pick up more of a rhythm with the three. So that part is really good. And then we're a play away from winning. So we just have to do more things. Keep pushing forward. Try to get better. Try to learn from each situation.
Just last thing on defense. Last night's telecast was kind of critical of RJ's defense. I don't know if you've heard it. So I guess you disagree with the MSG telecast.
I usually don't listen to the volume, to be honest with you, but so I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I think and it's easy, I think, sometimes to like pile onto someone, and it's not an individual sport, and that's why I think when you look at a game, and that's what I do after each game. I go through the film, and there's things you do well, things not as well as you would like, and then sometimes you can look at something and say, okay, well, the ball pressure is hurting us here. The shell behind the pick and roll defense is not where it needs to be. We're not moving on the flight. That's not a one-person thing. That's a team thing. Are we tracing the ball correctly? Are we closing out correctly? Those things all factor into it. So, and to answer the question, like to say that it's one guy, no, it's not. But I think we would be the first to say to you, we can do a lot better than we're doing right now.
I don't think you were asked this before, but any reaction to the trade and how it changes the division in the East?
Nah, like that, I think that would be probably a Nets question.
All right, thanks. That's an